I've been covering media personality meltdowns from mainstream news outlets like CNN, MSNBC, and the rest of them for a really long time, covering things like The View with Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar for a really long time. This one might be the worst one that I have ever seen in my entire life. As you can see, this tweet from Libs of TikTok, it says MSNBC host Jonathan Capehart pulls out a tissue and starts crying as he struggles to compose himself while discussing the events of January 6th. These people are pathetic paid actors. And obviously, the comments absolutely ravaged this guy. This was probably the best comment section that I've seen on a video in a really, really long time. But before we get into the comments, let's actually watch the video itself and watch this man, Jonathan, over here on the right, absolutely embarrass himself live on television on MSNBC. Let's check this out.
I'm going to try to get through this. Thank you for what you did 3 years ago today. Please tell me your thoughts on this third anniversary.
We are still in the midst of the same fight that began on January 6th, 2021. And we have a lot at stake in this country. And I think that it deserves every American's attention.
Now, obviously, these people are paid actors. There's not a single person out there who is actually crying because of January 6th, because of what happened on that day. Literally, people just gathered around a building and some of them walked inside. And obviously, you know, there's a lot of plants there and three-letter agencies that actually incited the entire thing. And the person in Donald Trump who was blamed for, you know, putting it all together was actually telling people to go home peacefully and stuff like that. But that was actually taken off the internet. They all planned this. This side of people, these people who are crying about the entire event happening, their side planned the whole thing. Their side carried out the whole thing. And even still, all that happened was a protest and people walked inside of a building. And they're crying about it on national television. I mean, let's be real, nobody's watching MSNBC, but still, everybody has access to see these clips for the rest of these guys' life. And they're crying about an event where people gathered around a building and walked inside. Like, that's all that happened. I guarantee you they didn't cry for 9/11. They didn't cry about any of the Summer of Love protests, the fiery but peaceful protests. They probably laughed. They probably actually encouraged those people to continue protesting and talked about how peaceful it was and how great it was to see these people gathering together to light these buildings on fire. Let's check out some of the replies to this. It's an absolute joke, man. An absolute joke. These MSNBC, CNN, all these hosts like Jonathan Capehart and the rest of them just making fools of themselves on a daily basis. Dr. Johnny says, what a pussy. I agree. Yet the media laughed and celebrated during the summer of peace. Fiery, but mostly peaceful protest after police shooting. It's just a joke, man. It's all just a clown show. It's all just a stage. All these people are paid actors. We never know what's real anymore either, because the entire event itself was planned out by these people's side of things. And now they're 3 years later after this traumatic event that happened where people actually walked inside of a building that they were gathered outside of. After the traumatic event, there's 3 years later, this man is crying on national television. And dude on the left almost cried too. He sounded like he was on the verge of tears. Pretty good acting, man. Where'd they find these people? Incredibly pathetic. Where were the tears when the left burned cities across America during the Summer of Love? It's like Tucker Carlson said, whatever they are hysterical about is what they are lying about. And also, whatever they're hysterical about is what they planned. Because, you know, they planned that entire thing. They're actors and drama queens. This was one of the most pathetic displays I have ever seen. Dude, they're getting worse and worse. It's almost like their only way of actually being relevant is making a fool out of themselves and having people like me and the other people who make YouTube videos just ripping on MSNBC and the rest of the woke TV hosts. It's like that's the only way that they might get views, that they might actually get some relevance, is if they just make absolute fools out of themselves and have people in the comments just trashing them like this. Give that man an Oscar for best drama. I mean, to be fair, if this wasn't an absolutely ridiculous scenario for someone to be crying in, it wouldn't have been that. It would kind of is believable that the guy is crying, but because of the circumstance that he's crying about, not a single person believes him. Like, unless your dog died 3 years ago on January 6th, I don't believe that you're crying about people walking inside of a building. It just doesn't make any sense. There are no words to properly express how much I hate Democrats. I mean, how can you watch stuff like this and still be a Democrat, like, proudly? It's embarrassing. It's dishonest. It's embarrassing. It's all the adjectives that you could possibly think that are negative. This is pathetic and embarrassing. Cry harder, or should I say fake cry harder. Does anyone think this is actually legit? That crybaby actor is on stage with Nancy Pelosi's bestie. This person, of course, with a Ukrainian flag in their name, says, there's nothing wrong with a man having emotions. 0 likes 18 replies. We already know what those replies are. I really wonder what the future will be like in 50 years when people look back at how absurd America was in the roaring 20s. It really is. It's going to be crazy. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll keep going in this direction forever if we do. I mean, I don't know how much longer we're going to last, but maybe we do keep going in this direction forever and we never get better. But if we do ever come back to our senses and common sense becomes common again, we're going to look back on this time period. And like I was saying earlier, all of this is documented. These people are doing this live on MSNBC, on CNN, on The View, and all these news stations and TV shows. They're doing this live on television. It's all documented. So 50 years, 100 years from now, people are going to look back on this and just laugh. And just be like, I can't believe how ridiculous these people were. It's just satire at this point. It really is, man. I mean, this is basically just like Babylon B, but for the left, except they're being serious. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this MSNBC host, Jonathan Capehart, pulling out a tissue and starting to cry as he struggles to compose himself while discussing the events of January 6th. It's just crazy, man. I can't believe the world that we live in, dude. I'm glad to be back talking about this stuff. It brings some joy to my day to laugh at these idiots, these MSNBC, CNN hosts who just have meltdowns constantly on television. It's fun to laugh at. So glad I'm back. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I hope to see you on the next one.